Hey, welcome back. So we're going to go ahead and get recording again here. I think we need to jump. There's a lot of Voidborn on the map. And I think one of the things I'm having a hard time coming to terms with is these ships are going to get destroyed. Like, I feel like I should be able to save them all. But then saving them all doesn't really serve me any purpose from a points perspective. It does serve some, I guess. In a weird way, you want ships to be destroyed if they belong to, like, the corrupted player, for example. I want those ships to be destroyed and not mine. So it's really bizarre. So, like, one of the things I'm looking at is there's a whole bunch here and there's a whole bunch here. So if I put my ship here, I get to control where the damage goes in both of those zones. So then I could just damage the ones that hurt the other player. I mean, that's the idea, right? And maybe that is the right way to look at it. I just, I don't know, I feel so sad I'm going to lose all these ships. But I keep feeling like they're mine. And then the other thing that I realized is, even though we're going to jump, or that was the plan, right? Let's jump. Jumping doesn't save us from being attacked. The attack is going to happen before the jump. So all these void ships are going to do damage, destroy ships, and then and only then do we jump. Now, I guess the good news, though, is if there's ever more damage, like there's more void ships than there is ships to damage, then they start damaging the Revenant. So by jumping, you're sort of like resetting the clock, if you will. The other thing is I can't see across my table very well. So these things are, if we did jump, this is what we're looking at, right? So this one, we would spend 2. Looks like we're going to get to draw 3 cards, operational cards. And then we get to, I think, this has to do with the colony planets. I think we get to either discard some colony cards or something. Or maybe we get to place some. I don't quite remember, but we can look it up. The colony cards are endgame scoring cards. And if the colony card happens to have the same faction that, we want to win, or, same house that we have a high influence in, it adds +1 to the multiplier. So there is a way to really get your points to go up. So that's something with this. And then, of course, it's just showing the sectors here. It's also misleading because Sector 1 is actually over there. If you look at the board properly, that's Sector 1, and then it goes around like this. So really interesting how the cards are upside down. Oh, and then look over here. It's yeah, they all have the same problem. And then this one, you get to remove a corruption, and then you do something with colony cards. And here you're going to get to gain 2 of those cubes, and then do something with a colony card. So they all cost 2. So then it becomes a matter of, okay, 4, 3, 2. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So even the void rifts, they move around. I don't know if there's one that has like more Voidborn ships than another. But yeah, those are the choices, I guess. So, there's that. But the first thing we do is we start with their turn. And their turn always starts with drawing one of these cards. So they drew a dark blue again. So dark blue is definitely the card they have the most of. It's going across, and so this is the corruption thing where they move up on the tactics track. And is that all they do? I will check again. This is my first game, of course. I am not confident in anything. They advance one step on the tactics track. If it reaches space featuring a corrupted tactics effect, then we resolve that immediately, which it does not. It does not. So, okay, we're okay there. So then, as you know, this thing moved. They placed their captain, or whatever it's called, person first, and it's going on to a what do you call that? A dropship. Now it's going to be the dropship for the dark blue squad, wherever that is, and because the colors don't match up, I have to look at the symbol sometimes, and it's I'm having a hard time finding it. I think it's this one right over here on that side. Let me stand up and look. Yeah, it's this one. So he's going to do this, and I'm pretty sure he's landing on that planet. So they do like a similar thing, but let's look it up. They have separate actions. So, move the ship any number of steps to reach the closest unoccupied planet and land on it. If there's multiple planets equally close, they can go clockwise. Remove the discovery data from the planet. If all planets are occupied, it stays in space. So basically, just the cube's gone. Fair enough. Now, it also puts corruption on that ship because it's the Herald, or the whatever it is. It's the captain, the nefarious captain. So that gets a corruption. So now it's our turn. I was trying to figure out, like, why does this game feel less satisfying than Voidfall? And I think some of it is I spent 2 hours setting it up, and I did 3 actions, and I'm already a quarter of the way done. I feel like 3 actions is not enough to do anything in this game. I do see the power of, if I get these cadet cards in play, I am getting chained action effects, but I'm not getting them in play very quickly. I did draw 2 more of them, so I can get them out quicker. This one is a cool one because it lets me promote the captain. But to get them out, I would need a combined total of 3 energy and 3 science to get them out. And then one of them is the kind that belongs to the corrupted player, but I could play an orange action, and then as my bonus action, because this matches orange, I can play 2 cards. But like I said, I need 3 energy and 3 science. I have 2 science and no energy. I also have this to play, which would let me repair some of the ships that took damage, and so forth. So who do I play first? Who do I, like, we have no corruption right now. So why was I saying that? Well, because I'm looking at the captain here and trying to determine who should go first. And I am leaning towards the captain this time. So let's take a look at I know we can fight. I was hoping to get this cadet card in that lets us fight more. Killing just one Voidborn ship seems like such a waste of action. But if I have these cadet cards, like I do right here, this lets me kill another one. And, I mean, being able to do 2 damage and then gain energy just for playing the card and not moving, right? This gives me extra movement points. I get 1 for every end. I mean, that's a really nice way to gain some energy. So how do I do this? Well, I need 2 energy and a science. I have the science. So I just need 2 energy to, and right here on the yellow, gain 2 energy and or place 2 shields anywhere. I think that's a great plan because we have so much Voidborn ship. Let's put up some shields and gain 2 energy. So I'm going to do that. So we'll do that with the captain. And I'm going to go into the yellow arc ship, wherever that is. Where are you, Mr. Yellow Arc Ship? Why don't I see it? Oh, it's right here. So I'm going to go into this. And then I'm going to move up on the yellow because that's where we gain the influence. So far, we're investing a lot in yellow. And I'm going to do the bottom action here where I'm going to gain 2 energy and then put out 2 shields. So I'll grab the 2 energy right now. And there they go. And then let's put out 2 shields. Well, I got some shields over here. So I want to protect the arc ship, so I'm going to put 1 shield here in that zone. And then because I plan on leaving this area to go destroy ships that belong to our arch nemesis, I am going to put a shield here to try to help against all that nonsense. Okay, so 2 shields feels like nothing. All right, so we did that. Now we get to do our bonus action, which happens to be, I'm going to play a card. And I can't do the one where, like, if I had gone to an orange ship, what would the orange have done for me? Move 4 ships, copy your frigate, So I want to play this card. So it's 2 yellow, 1 blue. And that's just this action. I don't get to trigger this, but 2 energy and 1 science. So done. This is now played. And do I give it to the empath, or I'm going to give it to the other cadet? So that I have a fighting cadet and I have a more negotiative type of cadet. And remember, I can only have 2 cards. So once I play this on, let's say, another cadet, that cadet's full. And then I only have 1 more cadet card I can play. Also, I may not have mentioned it, but there's a hand limit of 8. But I'm nowhere near that limit, so I'm not too worried about it. And it doesn't count these cards. It's just the control cards. And, one last thing. I get to take a one of these or one of those. So I'll take the residual, right? So now I have 3 of them, so I can discard them. And when I discard 3, I get to grab one of those. So because I am at this level, I get to draw 2 cards, and I keep 1. So I'm going to do that right now. So I drew a green and an orange, and I'm just looking over here. They're both fair. The green one lets me move up the tactics track. I mean, I'm not really using this but I'll keep the green one. And then we have to discard the orange one. I'll just put it on the bottom. And that's already 1/3 of my turns. Okay, there you go. He drew the same dark blue, which then causes this to go away. And he goes up again. This is moving down. Arc ship doesn't do anything, but he does put his person on the arc ship, which is here. Done. That was a real easy, quick turn. So back to us. The real damage is just the game more than the corrupted player. I think, would have liked the Voidfall idea where it's me versus the game. I did love the way it created crisis moments, and like you had to mitigate things while you were taking your turns. And if you didn't mitigate it, then it caused them to do more damage to you. I frankly like that a lot more. And I know I've said it before, and I'm sorry. I repeat myself because it's still my reaction. What are we doing for our next action? If I want to jump, because we keep talking about jumping, you saw that I needed at least 2 of this neutronium, which is the purple resource. There is a way to get it. I do like this red, destroy 2 Voidborn ships anywhere. Gain 3 tactics and place 2 shields in 1 sector. That's also good. And oh, by the way, when you destroy Voidborn ships, you do actually move up the tactics track. Something we haven't done very much. Right there. So this blue, not the dark blue, but the lighter blue, we can gain 2 neutronium. That'll help us to do the jump, but then that means that's all 3 of our actions. I got to gain 2 neutronium, and then I got to. That's not a good. It's not a good plan. So I think what I did was I grabbed Brawler here, and I'm going to do exactly that. We're gonna brawl, and this is for an attack action. Now I got several things I can do. I can activate the freighter, which unfortunately we never put our freighter card out, which is this guy. And that is if we do an attack while with our freighter, we do an extra damage and then yet another damage if we're in a void rift area. But see, that costs 2 neutronium, which I don't have, and one of these, which I don't have. Now, if I go into the red, I can play this for a 1 resource discount. And I only have 1 neutronium, so I could get this played if I go onto a red ship. Now, I have the destroy 2 Voidborn ships anywhere, which is a good red option. Or I can just find the red fighter, wherever that is, and that happens to be here. I could use this red fighter to do an action. I still wanted to move 1, 2 and attack along the way so I can control who gets destroyed over here. Maybe I'm going to have to give up on that plan. I don't know. I'm running out of ideas. Now, where would the red dropship is over there in that corner. We could do the red dropship, which then lets us control red. We have to go anywhere where there's a red ship. And then that lets me play that red card at a discount. Oh, let's look at the red ship. Where is the red arc ship? Why am I having a hard time finding these arc ships? It's way up here at the top. It's upside down. So here it is 2 times. Yeah, I get to get rid of 2 void ships anywhere. Or I move 3 times up the tactics track. And then I get to place out 2 shields. That's really good. If I destroy 2 void ships, I move up the tactics track twice. But in this case, I move up the tactics track 3 times. That'll get me a material. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the red with my cadet that's on the top. So what that does is that moves me up 1 on the red track. And here's where this gets brilliant. So I'm going to do the one on the bottom, the tactics one. So we get to move up 3 on the tactics track. 1, 2, 3. I gain 1 material. So I got that. Okay. And then it says, this is a plus or. Then it says, put 2 shields out on the map. So I'm going to do exactly that. And I'm going to grab 2 shields here. And I'm going to put it up here in this corner to protect those ships. And then I am going to... So I technically did the red turn. However, now I get to use my cadet bonus. So I have the empath card that says after I've taken my turn, or actually after I've gained my... It's not taken my turn. It's after I gain my +1 So I should have done this a little bit earlier. If I have 2 or less with this house, I gain 1 more. So I just always want to go to a new one. So I'm going to gain 1 more. And then what this does is this lets me remove a corruption. But unfortunately, I don't have a corruption to remove. I'm corruption free. So a little bit of a waste, I guess. I was so excited to get something, and then I realized, oh, it doesn't do any good. But it does move me up the power track, or the multiplier track, which I'm happy with. And I thought I was going to get to do this, but now I'm realizing there is no handshake on that particular action. I thought I was going to get to drop another shield. That's not the case. So it wasn't quite as good of an action as I thought it would be. But now I've screwed myself. I'm not warping. We're not jumping. All these Voidborn are staying exactly where they are. So now it's their turn. Oh, we're not done. We're not done. We got to do this. So I'm going to do this particular action here, where I'm going to take the Rift Disruptor, and I get a 1 discount because I'm matching red. So I have the 1 material and the 1 neutronium. So I just pay 1 less of this. And now when I do an attack action with my frigate, I'm going to do 1 extra damage, and then yet another damage if I'm in a Void Rift. So this card goes right here. If I ever get more, I get tactics, but I don't have more at the moment. So now we do their turn. And we got this one. They're moving up the red track. So sorry for all the bumping. They go up. This moves to here. So again, they're gonna put their worker on the 1 spot on the Revenant, which is here. And I always forget what they do. It does say, so A side up, which is what this is. They're going to do the reinforce as described on page 6. So page 6. They're going to place a house ship on the main board. And so the ship, the one they have the most influence with is already out there. So now they're going to put a red one out because red's the next one they're highest with. There is actually a tie. But remember, they always break ties with the leftmost. So it's going to be the red house, which is the Chivius. So one of these goes out, and then it's the lowest sector, which happens to be, they're going to pile up here because this can hold 4 ships. So this is the 4th ship now. There. I probably shouldn't have put the 2 shields over there because it's their own ships. They're going to get destroyed. All right, so that's their action. And then we move on to my final action for this round. And I am going to put my cadet in our own ship. I don't know. I guess it's this side. So he goes like so. And then does this actually connect to my... I don't think it does. Yeah, there's no connecting these. So anyways, I need to verify when I can move, when I can attack. I think I can do it in any order. I really do. It's the most confusing thing of the game. I think it's the strafe that I can't do. Like, you have to strafe after you attack. But if you're going to just move and attack, you can do those in any order. Forgive me. Combat. In the action phase, so right here. When you attack, you have boarded, you may deal 1 damage. See? When you destroy a Voidborn ship, you immediately gain a tactic. Some abilities enhance you with 1 extra damage. And then here you can see that's your maneuver. Some abilities give you extra movement steps. If you move a house ship, that's what these symbols are. Certain effects and abilities let you remove damage. That's the repair. So okay, so I'm doing a frigate action, and the frigate action bear with me, I just want to make sure I'm not getting this wrong. I don't need to be cocky here. They're over here on the board. That's why. So there you can see I get one movement and one damage, or I can do a drop ship. Like I can treat it like a drop ship. If I would have used a fighter, I would have been able to do a movement and a damage, and then this thing called strafe, which is a move after the damage. Or I could just move. So we're doing the frigate though, because so I get one movement and one damage, so one of each, right? One and one. However, this gives me, when I'm doing an attack, I get one more damage, and I get two more move, right? So I'm at 3 movement and 2 damage. I can do them in any order, and then whatever unused steps, I get an energy, movement steps. So I could kill things in this current sector, but I'm going to move to here, and I'm going to damage here. Because I also have this, that if I'm doing an attack, I get another damage, so now that's 3 damage. And if I'm in a sector with this, I can kill yet another one. So I did one of my 3 movement, and I'm going to damage one here. This card lets me get an additional damage, and because I'm with a Void Rift, I get a 3rd damage. Okay, that's just from this card alone. That's why I went through all the trouble of putting this card in play. All right, so I just did 3 damage. There's still 3 left, which is what's crazy about this. So then I'm going to now do this, which is 1 more damage. Because my first attack here, this damage was my regular attack. And then I was able to do 1, 2 more. This one gives me yet another one. So I kill 1 more. So now there's only 1 Voidborn ship left. But we killed 4 of them, which means I move up 4 on the tactics track. So let's do that real quick. So over here on the tactics track, I move 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now I'm triggering this, which is another material. If I get to here, that triggers drawing an influence card. And then this gives me a +1 influence. I don't remember where. I'd have to look that up again. But I'm at minimum, I'm getting another material. So I'm going to grab one of those right now. Now, I can stop moving, which means I still have 2 movement points left, and that gives me 2 energy. Or I can move 1 more, and then that gives me 1 energy. I'm looking at my spy card. My spy card, I need to have 1 energy and 2 science to play, which I don't have 2 science. I can choose to get rid of one of these influence cards to get that science. This is where that might actually become in handy. I'm thinking. Okay, well, I'm thinking, I want to look up the rule on these 2 symbols and what that means. So let me do that first. Okay, I have answers. So if we do a hyper jump, this tactics board will reset back to a lower level. So if you're beyond this one, when you do the reset, that's the reason why the arrows are pointing this way. So when you reset back, if you're beyond this one, you gain a hidden influence card. And if you're beyond this one, you get to move up one influence anywhere you want. So there's some game mechanic where you want to surge up to 11 or 12 and then jump. And that actually gives you a bonus. So it makes sense. And then look, you even get a neutronium there. Then also, while I was looking things up, I realized that this doodad is very beneficial to us because it's not just our freighter, or I keep saying freighter, frigate. I get to remove a corruption from anywhere. So I can go on the board, for example, and find a corruption marker on a ship and take it off. So where do I want to remove one? So like, for example, from this yellow ship right here, I can remove this corruption and it actually goes into my residual board. So that was something I didn't know. So I'm glad I looked that up. Okay, so now the question is, do I want to collect 2 energy by not moving anymore, or do I want to collect 1? Well, here's the deal. I am higher up on the tactics track than he is. So I get to control my region, the adjacent regions, and then the 2 more adjacent regions outside of that. So I don't need to move anymore, and I get to control everything I want to control. So I'm going to stay where I am and collect 2 energy, which is what that brawler card gets me. I'm very quickly learning that these cards, these operational cards, are like the key to chaining actions and getting more out of your game. Because I'm quite frustrated that I've already completed half the game, and I feel like I've hardly done anything. And if it wasn't for these cards giving me bonus stuff, I don't know if I would feel satisfied at all. But that is the end. I've already done 3 actions, and now it's clobber time because the Voidborn are everywhere. And yes, we are definitely going to get corruption and clobbered by great degrees. I'm actually I'm not looking forward to this. So first thing though, we move to the blue. And that's just get your workers back. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. Green gets their guys back. 1, 2, sorry for the arm. 3. I got to get mine back. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's step 1. Step 2. I already forgot the dang cert. Hold on. Recall phase. Return dropships and frigates from planets. Okay, fair enough. That would only be this one right here. And then change the turn order, which we don't do in this particular phase. So now we move to the skirmish. So this is where we go through and distribute damage, do rift corruption, remove shields, and of course if the Revenant gets attacked, which by the way, I did look up that as well while we were paused. The way when you start the game, you only have 1 card revealed, and then when the Revenant starts taking damage, that card will become a factor, which we haven't yet, so I haven't really paid too much attention to it, but I'm trying not to let that happen, but it's looking like it's unavoidable. So we start with Sector 1, and I'm in control. So I get to decide who takes the damage. And so you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage going in. This is 4 of the damage. So this guy gets destroyed. And this is his coveted blue ship. But the problem is, there's still 2 more damage, so this is going to get destroyed as well. So we just lost 2 ships. They wiped everything out there without even anything. And this would issue corruption, and I'll have to look up, since there's nobody in here, does it corrupt the next sector over, or what does it do? We'll have to look that up. But there's two things we got to do before we look that up. Come over here. So this house gets reduced from 4 to 3. And then this house goes from 3 to 2. So that's first step. Second step, spread rift corruption. If the sector has a rift and at least one damage was dealt to a ship there, the resolving player must place a corruption on an empty corruption space of a house ship in that sector. If all house ships in the sector are already corrupted, skip this step. Well, in this case, they're all destroyed, so we're skipping this step. But had there been any extra Voidborn, they would have done damage to the Revenant. But that's not the case here. So then we move on to Sector 2. So I got to stand up for this. Sector 2 is here. We put 2 shields here. And there were 2 Voidborn, so nothing happens. Now this is his sector. So not going to help us. And then it's bad. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Voidborn. I am highest up on these 2. Red is furthest to the left, so the red arc ship gets destroyed. So that's 4 damage. And then there's 2 damage left over. And he does try to destroy a ship more than... the problem is the orange, he's further up than me on the orange. So... maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but I think he would just do 2 damage to the arc ship. Losing the red arc ship was a bit painful because that's a useful ship. And just bear in mind that this can put that arc ship back out on the board. Okay. Then we go over here. There's 2 damage. And so orange is higher up for him. This blue is also higher up for him. So which one does he damage? Well, it's the leftmost one. So he does 2 damage. So this arc ship is destroyed. I needed to have 5 arc ships in the game for me to win. So I'm currently at 1, 2, 3, 4 with 1 almost destroyed. Then we get to here, and now I finally get to control the damage. And I see this shuttle that belongs to him. So I'm going to destroy this shuttle. And then I have 2 more damage to do. And I see this also belongs to him, so I'm going to do 2 damage and destroy his dropship. And I need to pause real quick because I realize I need to... oh, I got to put his dropship back. There's a shield there. I shouldn't have put that shield there. In fact, I should have put it up here to save the arc ship. I'm retconning that. I'm sorry. I will. We're going to go ahead and put some damage on. It would have been nice to maybe save the orange ship, but we just saved the red one. So the red one did take 3 damage. But I saved it with the shield. So we absorbed 1 hit. Okay, now I forgot to do this. This corrupts something because damage was done. So they're going to corrupt the red ship. And then over here, they're going to corrupt the red ship. Or no, I get to control it. So I'm corrupting their ship. This is where I have to stop because I got to come over here and fix the numbers. All right, so we have destroyed the blue shuttle. So this 3 drops to a 2. up at the top there. And then there's a fighter ship lost for this faction. I think we already did that one. And then orange lost a ship, so they dropped to 2. Okay, let's keep going. So now we got Sector 6. I put a shield down, so that blocked him. Then we're to this sector. 1 damage is getting through. Nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to damage one of the arc ships, knowing that it can absorb the hits. So we'll go ahead and put the damage on this one. And then over there, again, I get to decide how the hits go. So I'm going to do 1 hit on each, so nobody gets destroyed. I guess if I was really thinking about it, I should destroy this one. But I'll just do 1 on each. And also I got to come back to this because there's a corruption coming out. And yeah, I get to decide who gets the corruption. And I'm going to put it on the dropship just because I know I'm never going to use the dropship. Okay, so that's the situation. Any extra shields would be removed. And now we move to so here it says, after all 8 skirmishes, refresh the Revenant failure display. On 1st, 2nd, and 3rd cycles, check there's a card at the bottom space. If there is one, discard it. If there was a Revenant protection token on this card, return it to the common supply. Then move the card from the top space to the bottom space. Okay, so at the end of the last cycle, this was supposed to come down, and this was supposed to come on. Now, this gets removed, this comes down, and this comes on. That's how it works. The failure deck will always be empty in the 4th cycle. Okay, so it is what it is. Now we move to the rift phase because we didn't jump. So it's going to go here, and then this is all going to happen. So one thing I know is going to happen is we're going to replace the white cube here. So let's jump in. Rift phase. So we're going to roll the rift die for each Voidborn ship on the map and place Voidborn ships on the map as shown. And it's going to be based on where the rifts are. We're going to put the discovery cubes out. We discard the scanner cards. And then we're going to draw our operation cards. Makes total sense. All right. So I'm doing things in a little bit of reverse order, but these are going to go. And then these get revealed. It's really just the top 3. So this is more jump opportunities. I'll let you take a look at them. And then, yeah, we got to roll the die, and then we got to draw our operation cards. And because I haven't promoted my captain yet, I'm still at this rank for 2. It's a really difficult thing. So I want to promote my captain. That takes science, which will lend me more cards. But to play the cards requires resources. So I need those resources to promote my captain, or I need them to play the cards. I can't do both. And I'm really struggling with understanding how this mechanic is supposed to work. I have cards I want to play and I can't. And so, yeah, I'm going to draw 2 more cards. Well, whoopie-doo. I can't afford to play them. And I only get 3 chances. This is, like, I don't understand what am I doing? Like, how would I get more resources? It's not making sense to me. But with that said, though, I do understand now I'm at least generating energy, which is good, because maybe I can use those to exchange for 3 resources and then use that to promote my captain. But let's not forget, I got to do my rolling here. So I'm going to start here in Sector 7, and let's roll. So I rolled a 2, and it's hard to see, but there's a 1 on each side. So what that's telling us is that 2 more are going to appear here, and then a 1 on each side, which means 1 here and 1 here. Now we go over to this sector, which has 5 of them. Yes. So we're going to roll. And that's a 1 with a 1 on each side. So he's going to go up to 6. Then 1's going to come over here. And 1's going to go over there. And then we go up to this sector. That one already has 6, but I still roll. It's a 1 with a 1 on each side. So he doesn't get any more because 6 is the max. But we do put 1 on each side. Then we come over here. And there's 3. And they get 2 more. So where are additional ships? Because I only have 1 more. You mean to tell me they shortchanged me the miniatures in this game? Because I need a whole lot more than just the miniatures that they gave me. That's ridiculous. I don't have any more miniatures, so let me pause and see what happens. The rulebook doesn't address this situation. It very clearly says that if you hit 6, then stop drawing Voidborn, which that part I get, but I'm completely empty. I've used every miniature that the game provided to me, and I need 1 more. And you would think that at minimum they would have given me 6 times 8 sectors, 48 of them. They did not. So I don't have an answer for this dilemma. That is a really bizarre production decision to make. But yeah, I am out of miniatures. So is 1 miniature going to make the world of difference? Probably not. I mean, I can tell you right now that those 6 are going to pummel the Revenant. So I probably need to do something very desperate. And here's the thing, like, I don't know. Even if I try to jump, they get to do their attack before we jump. So I'm wasting a whole action jumping when I might as well just spend another action attacking and killing them. I'm really, I know they said you get to kill 3 Voidborn in a solo game, and I totally understand why. Because in a 4-player game, more Voidborn are going to get killed. Like, we're going to be able to protect ships a lot more. Unless, of course, you're trying to get a ship destroyed, which, you know, having your frigate in a certain sector will help you to do. It's just a really bizarre game. Let's not forget we get to draw 3 cards. So which 3 cards do I want to draw? I would like maybe another cadet card, but we're basically running out of opportunities here. So I'm going to do the immediate cards. And I'm going to draw, I only get to draw 2. So I'm going to draw 2 immediate cards. Let's see what we can get from these. So this one, I get to draw 4 more cards for 2 resources. Or, looks like I could discard or play a card to gain 1 influence with that thing. I guess that would be good if I'm trying to get up on the track so I can grab the resources that are on the track. Outside of that, I'm not sure either of those were helpful at all. I just feel like there should be a lot more actions in this game. And even just placing 2 shields or killing 2 Voidborn, it's just not enough. It doesn't feel very satisfying. Wasn't expecting that to be the issue with this game. I was getting hopeful. I was like, I just found a tray with stuff in it. Nope, no Voidborn. I think, look forward to trying to add the expansions to this. I think it's going to add a little bit more. That might make it interesting. Honestly, I would like to play this with bot players. So there's a 4-player game going on, but like I don't want it to be the corruption player, because all they do is corrupt things. They don't help kill Voidborn ships. Like, I would rather have like real legit players that I'm playing against instead of a corruption bot like this. Because then they're helping me destroy ships on the board. That's, I think, the killer part of this, is that I'm the only one destroying the ships. Anyways, there's enough whining there. Let's go ahead and start with their turn. They're going to draw a card, which is, oh, surprise, surprise, another deep blue. So that moves up. Then the cube moves to here, which is a fighter. And remember, they pew pew and miss. So their captain comes out first. He's clearly going onto the blue fighter, which is still out there. Their blue fighter is... Man, I'm having the hardest time finding these guys. Okay, this is light blue, green, yellow, different blue, dark blue dropship. Where's the dark blue fighter? I mean, I'm looking at all the fighters. There's a fighter there that's orange. Oh, it's right here. It already has a corruption on it, so nothing happens there. And yeah, he pew-pews and misses. That's their turn. I do appreciate how quick their turn is. We have 3 actions remaining. I mean, technically we have 6 before the game ends. I still don't know what the right strategy is. I think we need to pew-pew a bunch of stuff. So we're either controlling a fighter, or I would like to do these repairs, which takes a neutronium and any other resource. I don't have a neutronium. I do have other resources, though. So I think maybe I'm going to want to do an action where I get to gain some resources. And there is this one where I do gain some neutronium if I go to this house, which is it's a blue house, but not the dark blue house. I gain 2 neutronium, and it has the handshake. So the handshake lets me do extra actions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll put a cadet here, and it gives me 2 neutronium. 1, 2. And then right here, I use my empath. So I go up 1 on the dark blue, or the light blue. There's 3 shades of blue. Like, I guess this one we can officially call purple. But I'm moving up on this one. And then because of my empath ability, I get another bump. So I get to grab this resource. This empath ability has been pretty nice for us. And then, because I chose an action that has a handshake, I am going to get to put one shield out. You know, big whoop, but I'm still going to do it. And then I either gain an energy or another resource of whatever I just grabbed, which is going to be another neutronium. So I'm looking at this situation here, which is now going to let me, I could even do a jump, right? Because I have 3 neutronium. All the jumps do cost, there's one, I think, that costs 2. So I can maybe get away with playing my card. So anyways, that's the situation. I got all those down. I played my action. I did my empath. Oh, I get to place out a shield. So we're just going to place it somewhere where we just want to protect something. And I don't feel like I can do anything about these ships up north here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a shield up there to help protect them. And then, that was road trip. I am going to play mind control for my action. So I am going to play one of my neutronium, and then I'm going to play one of the materials, like so. And then this will let me repair 2 ships, or I can move up 2 on the tactics track 2 times. All that does is give me a neutronium, which makes no sense. Gaining 2 resources makes no sense. I could move ships around, like I can move the arc ships around to maybe save them. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to repair 2 ships. It's just 2 damage. It's not repairing the ship completely. Is that really what I wanted to do? I guess so. Which 2 ships? Well, there's a lot to repair, actually. Those arc ships up there would be nice to save. These ships might be nice to save. This ship for sure would be nice to save. So I'm going to... There's only 2 Voidborn there. Well, I'm going to repair this one for 1. I don't think I need to because I'm protecting it. I'll leave the damage on this guy. I'm going to repair... oh, man. I'll repair the red ship twice. The other thing I forgot to do... Oh, no, I did. I moved up on the track. So, yeah. So we moved up and we got our white cube. I just feel very unsatisfied with this action, but it is what it is. So now we go to them. They're going to move up on the tactic track. So they move to here. I'm sorry, to there. And so this moves to here, and they get on a dropship. And they're going to once again get on their dark blue dropship, go here, take the white cube away. Again, very clean, very quick action. I have no issue with it. I did forget to do this. Oh, surprise, surprise. Move up 1 on there, and now it's back to us. What do we want to do? This would be nice because it costs less to upgrade, and it's anytime I do an action with that cadet. Versus yeah, and then I even get science for free just for going on different house affiliations. So it's really nice if I can get it out there. It's 1 energy and 2 science. I don't have the 2 science. So I think I'm going to play the captain then. And I might go 1 second. So what's going through my head? Well, obviously I want to destroy ships. And I need to destroy a lot of ships if I want to protect the Revenant. So that would mean I need to attack and then attack again. The good news is this triggers every time. So once it's on your frigate, every time you use the frigate, it works. Now the problem is I can only use the frigate once. Now there is an arc ship ability that lets you use your frigate ability. Copy your frigate. It's the orange. Resolve its effect as if you boarded it. The problem is that action has been destroyed. So that's less helpful. But I'm going to go ahead and put the... What I need to do is I need to get science. I need to also destroy Voidborn. I need to do both. So if I were trying to get science, I could go to my yellow ship here, which is my tried and true, with my captain. And I'm grabbing 2 science. That's all my action is. 1, 2. I do move up on the yellow track, which, as you can see, is going to get me an energy. So I get an energy and I get 2 science. Also, I can spend a science to turn it into any resource. I don't think I want to. I can gain a residual or a cube. I'm going to choose to gain a cube because you can see I have 2 cubes. So now I have 3. And that lets me draw 2 cards and keep 1. So I'm at the same rank with both. So I'll go ahead and keep this one. So I gained all that science. Now what? Well, the thought was I wanted to go up here, but I do want to play my spy card, which lets me promote him when I do a cadet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then the spy card I'm going to place here, because it doesn't matter what my action is. It's with my pew pew guy. And it's going to cost me 1 energy and 2 science. So 1 energy and 2 science. And unfortunately, that makes my science go down. I don't have enough. I think I can play these in any order. So I can grab my science first and then use it to do this. Pretty sure I can do that. Okay. So that was my turn. So now it's their turn, and surprise, surprise, they get another one. So they're almost all the way to the top of the track. And then they're going to move down, and they're going to go under their arc ship, and the arc ship does nothing. Their arc ship is destroyed. So now they're going to go into another arc ship. So where do they second highest in influence? It would be the red arc ship, which is right up there. I just threw it because it doesn't matter. And now we're going to get our cadet, put him in the pew pew frigate. When we put him in a frigate, we draw cards and keep one because we don't move up. So I'm going to take the yellow one and keep that. And then the frigate, we're going to pew pew right here in this region. So he gets a bonus attack and another attack. So I'm going to let him kill these 2, right? So that's going to move us up twice on the tactics. Then we're going to do a move to here. And I think I'm going to just let them die, and then 2 of them will get through and kill the Revenant. There's not much I can do about this. I have to pick and choose. So I'm going to move twice to here, and I still get, I still have 2 more kills that I can do. So I'm going to kill 2 more for 4. But if you'll notice, I got 4 of these getting through to the Revenant, and then 2 of these getting through to the Revenant. The Revenant's in trouble. I do move up 2 more on the track, and now I gain a Neutronium. And that's it. Was that really my 3rd action? Yes, it was. I am so hosed. Oh. Now I have 1 for each on a ship with different house affiliation. So I get 3 of them, and I'm assuming that the frigate counts as its own. We will look that up. This is the Spy card. Gain 1 science for each of your crew members on a ship with different house affiliation. Reminder, the Revenant and frigates don't have a house, so I only get 2. 2 science. So I am going to get 2, and then I'm going to spend those 2 because I'm at least 5 on the tactics track, and we're going to upgrade our captain. So here's what upgrading the captain does for us. It allows us to play a card with a 1 resource discount now, but it's only crew cards, which I don't have. But I do get to do a bonus action because I haven't done one yet. Here. So could I play one of these? Well, of course I could. Do I want to? I mean, this one lets me get 4 more cards if I spend 2 resources. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to spend 2 energy. Yeah, I'm going to spend 2 energy and get 4 more cards. Now this counts as a point, so you just slide it under here. And I'm going to grab some, let's see, I'm going to grab 2 cadet cards and 2 frigate cards. Let's see what we get. So this frigate card lets us move up the tactics track on that action. And then for each cadet cadet card attached to the cadet you use this turn, you get another one. And then this one is we get to put a shield out and gain an energy. And it's also one of those types of actions. This is, I think, after I do an arc ship action, I get to spend 4 energy to move the arc ship. Yeah, big whoop. This one, after he does his action, +1 for each of your cadet cards in play. This one, every sector that has 0 Voidborn, I gain a resource. And here, if I go to a land on a colony or a planet, I get +1 resource and move up the track. Yeah, these cards aren't that great. So I would rather have kept those resources. Okay, so we're at the end. We pull our guys back. So Green gets his guys back. We get our guys back. Then the planet cards and all the drop ships get moved from the planets, and then we determine player order, which doesn't change. So now when I come back, we're gonna go through the 8 sectors. I'll be right back. Okay. So we are at this phase where we go through all 8 sectors and resolve the stuff. And this is where bad things are gonna happen. I am higher than him on the tactics track, so I get to control the 5 sectors around me. I am here. There are 4 that are gonna get through, and they're gonna do 4 damage to this guy. So I'm trying to, the tray is really small and it's hard to grab these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Revenant took 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go up to this sector. Here you can see there's 4 hits, and this is his ship. So I'm going to take his ship out first for 2. And then that causes him to drop to 1 power. There's only 1 dark ship left. Then we have to choose between red and yellow. And so I'm going to choose to hit each one once. Oh, the red one gets destroyed. So red is dropping down to 2 power. Okay, then we go to here. Also a bad situation. There is 1 shield, so this gets blocked. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets through. And we have a red, and it looks like 2 orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and let 2 damage get through. I'm sorry, these 2 are gonna damage and destroy this orange. So orange is dropping to 1 power. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let 2 damage destroy this orange. And orange has just dropped to 0 power. And then there's 1 more damage that gets through, and we'll go ahead and damage the red ship. And everything there is already corrupted, because the Void Rift would corrupt something. So now we go to this corner. 3 ships, or 3 damage. This ship gets destroyed. So the lighter blue has dropped to 2 power. And then 1 damage gets through to the Revenant. It's now at 5 damage. Then we go to this, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So both of these ships get destroyed. So that is the dark blue just dropped to 0 power. And the red drops to 1. And I'm just realizing something. The AI does put out protective shields. Let me check the rules and figure out when it does that. So the answer is that it does, but it has to get to 6 to 12 tactics, which it's not. So I guess it never got high enough. So now we're down here to this corner. There is 2 damage going in. And I'm gonna go ahead and just destroy this light blue ship. So the light blue drops to 1 power. Then we go to this bottom one. 1 damage gets through. So I'm going to go ahead and put a damage here. And then we get to the last spot. And this part's the unfortunate part. These 2 ships are going to get destroyed. And that's a green and a purple. Purple is down to 1 power. Green is down to 2. And so that was 2, and then these 2 hit the Revenant. So now we gotta figure out what happens when the Revenant gets hit like this. So bear with me. I have to look this up. Okay. So this is the damage preferences of the corrupted crew. And it says it's on the card. You tell me if that tells you the damage preferences. It doesn't, like, that's as useful as wet toilet paper. So this is just talking about removing shields, protective rays. And then, where's the part about the Revenant getting hit? Maybe it's in the main rule book. That's why it's not here. Okay. I'm not a fan of this solo game. Okay. Revenant failure. I know it's hard to read, but I'm going to be reading this section here. If the Revenant suffers the 6 damage, immediately resolve the visible effect shown on the bottommost Revenant failure card. Then tuck the card slightly under the sequence board to mark it resolved. If there's a Revenant protection token on the card, leave it on. Remove all 5 damage markers. If the Revenant suffers a 6 damage marker a second time in the same cycle, resolve the topmost card. All right, so what's going to happen is it just took the 6 damage, and then there's going to be 1 more left. So I'm just going to take all but 1 off. Like so. And then we resolve the bottommost card, which is here. So let's take a look at it. So all arc ships, I'm assuming, takes a damage. And then all players lose 2 tactics. I think that's what that means. Let's look it up again. Because I could swear to you that that was repair damage. It is damage. Deal 1 damage to all arc ships. Shields and sectors do not cancel. Each player must lose 2 tactics, or as many as possible. Okay. So I'm going to make the AI lose 2 tactics as well. But yeah, I lose 2 tactics, so I dropped a 9. And every arc ship takes 1 damage, which does destroy an arc ship. And then this gets tucked under, which I think just means it gets bellied up And then this is going to come out for the next round. Okay, so I'm going to grab some. This particular arc ship gets destroyed. So I'm going to move the damage marker over, and then this damage marker over, and then this damage marker over. This one is destroyed. So that is the purple, which is dropping to 0 power. And we need one more damage marker for the green arc ship. We no longer have enough arc ships for us to score our endgame points. It is what it is. Okay, so that is all 6 or all 8 sectors. Then we gotta get out the rulebook again. So that was a skirmish phase. We refresh the Revenant failures, which I just did. And then we're gonna go to the Rift phase. And this is where we roll the dice. We put a Discovery Cube back on the planets. We get to draw our operation cards and reveal the scanner cards. So this is gonna be for the final round of the game. So I'm going to move this up so you can see. These go away. We didn't jump. And then we have these planet cards. 1, 2, 3. And, well, they're colony cards, not planet cards. So if we pay for these, then it's like this is 1 point for every energy. Looks like minus 2 points for every corruption on your freighter ship. And then it looks like plus 1 point for every cadet card on the left there. And then it does give like this one gives an extra power to House Yellow, for example. So that'll give the multiplier another boost. So it would behoove us to try to do that, right? If the yellow can survive, of course. All right, so next we did that. What else did we have to do? We have that's right, we got to do the dice. We're going to put out the white cube and we got to draw our cards. All right, so the white cube's easy. There's only one that needs to go out, and we put that out. Then we'll come back and sorry about that. I unplugged my power to the phone, and so it just sort of glitched there. So I get to draw 3 cards now, because we are a higher level with the captain. I'm going to just draw one of each, a cadet, a frigate, and one of these. And I don't have enough to play any of these, and I'm limited to 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I am going to have to discard one. So the cadet one, I think this is when I play a cadet, I get 3 resources, a cadet card, or I discard a cadet card. This one is a great one. This should be, yeah. So what this is if I attack with my frigate, I get to attack in a surrounding sector. I get to do 2 damage. So really, really good one. I love that one. I'm going to set that aside. And then the miner, oh, this is an immediate one. So immediately I discard a cadet card to get 3 resources. I have to pay 2 to do it, though. It's sort of a weird one. But this one is the first one with a mining action. So after you do mining action, you get 2 material. And at the end of the cadet action, +1 science for each of your on a different house affiliation. So this is a great way to get a bunch of science again. They're not horrible. I like all 3 of those. If I had to discard one, the political alignment one was really dumb. I'm okay with getting rid of this one. So you're supposed to have a separate discard pile. I put it at the bottom of the deck. I don't care. I'm never going to get through an entire deck. So that brings us to the end of the round, and now we're on the final phase of the game. And I'm looking, we're at 1 hour and 40 some minutes. Let's finish the game. So we start with their turn, and they drew a green, which is, I think, a first time for them. So they move up, and yes, they don't do anything when they take these markers. So I'm just going to throw it over there. So they move up on the green track. And yeah, so now they're actually focused on the green, but, excuse me, their cube is moving on to the Revenant. So they are putting their primary Harbinger, is what it's called, for the Revenant action. And this action is where they make a they're creating a ship. Now, the Harbinger causes corruption to arrive, but when it goes onto the Revenant, I don't know what happens. So bear with me. I gotta look again. We've had the Harbinger several times now, but never on this spot. Come on, I know I read this somewhere, and now when placing a Harbinger, arc ship, fighter, or drop ship. So it does not include the Revenant. So we don't do anything with the Revenant. So when we do the Revenant, though, the Revenant action is still side A, which is interesting, because I don't know what causes it to go to side B, but after resolving a Revenant failure card, they gain 1 tactic. So they do go up 1 tactic, even though it told them to go down. So I just fixed that. And then reinforce. They prefer the house they have the highest influence with, then the second, and so on. So they're going to build an arc ship first. And of course, they're going to build their dark blue arc ship, which is this one. And it goes on the board starting with the lowest sector, which would be this one. So they're going to go here. And I'm okay with that because that actually gives me a winning game condition. But it also helps them because they're extremely high on this track and they get 1 power now. And that's their wonderful action. So now it's to us, and we are on our final 3 turns. If the Revenant were to take damage, we would get this effect first, and we're going to gain a corruption, and then we would all lose 2 white cubes. Not a problem for me. And then the final one is this one. So if it takes 6 more damage, all players score no points for captain and command cards. And then there's a whole slew of stuff here at the bottom. I don't know what it's telling us to do. So I need to make sure that this Revenant doesn't take, really it's 11 damage. So Oh, and I forgot to roll the dice. So 1 second, we got to roll dice. Starting with Sector 1. Since we seem to have a limited number of void ships, I don't know where, oh, here's my die. So it's a 2. So there's 4 here, 2 more, and then 1 on each side, which is here and here. And I can tell you already, there's nothing else for me to do. I'm out of components, so I'm just stopping there. But I can tell you right now, like if the round ends, there's 5 hits going to the Revenant. There's 2 hits. Then there's, 4 hits. And then over there, 5, 3 more. Like there's nothing left for them to damage. They're just going to go straight into the Revenant now. So, yeah, I need to lay out shields. I need to do attack actions. So how can I do that? Like I got this thing over here that lets me, I can gain some energy if I go to the yellow ship here. I can gain 2 science if I go to the yellow ship and then do the handshake. So what's the right call? I do think I want to go to the yellow ship and I want to do it with the captain, and then I just need to look up this one ability here. Okay. I'm just trying to, I do want to do this yellow dropship. The question is, do I want to try to upgrade my captain first? Which is hard to do because I need 2 science to do that. I'm just going to play the captain now, and we'll put the captain here. And I'm going to gain the 2 science. And then I'm going to do the handshake action. So, no, because if I'm going to do the handshake, I should take my cadet. Oh boy. I'll continue with this. So now it says, I can give myself a residue, which I'm going to do. Now, when it shows this, I'm not removing a corruption. I'm just taking something from the supply and putting it in my residue section. So it just helps me to complete a set. Now, what this says is I get a -1 discount for playing a cadet card. So I just took an action with a handshake. The problem is the handshake only exists for the cadet. It doesn't exist for my captain. So the captain doesn't get the bonus. That's where I was pausing and thinking through my actions. But what I do want to do is now I want to play cards. And I went to a yellow arc ship, which by the way, I need to remember to do this because that's points for me. So there's a yellow card here. This one, so resourcefulness. I get a 1 discount according to this. I can get a 1 discount, or I can play 2 cards. So I think I'm going to try to do the 2 cards one. So I'm going to play this, where I can discard a cadet card to get 3 resources, but I'm going to pay 2. So the 2 I'm going to pay doesn't matter because I'm going to just take them back, which is going to be the science resources. And then I'm going to grab a 3rd resource, which I just need to look at what my other card is that I need to play. Now, that's the yellow card. And I do have to discard a cadet card. which is going to be this one, because I don't really care for this one. So that's a cadet card that I'm discarding to get the 3 resources. But then I kept some cards that I do like. I have the miner and I have the frigate card. So I'm going to put this one out. This is the cadet card that has the mining action on it. And I get +1 science for each of those. Now here you can see I need a energy and 2 science. So I'm going to take an energy because obviously I need one of those to be able to pay for this card. So that +2 science lets me play this card here. And there we go. I probably should have done the action that lets me get the 2 energy. And then I could have used that to get the science. Yeah. That would have been a better move. So since I'm paying 2 resources to get 3, I would have collected the 2 energy instead of the 2 science, spent the energy to get the science, to get 2 science and an energy for the 3 resources. And then that lets me put out 2 shields. That's way better than, because it's not like I'm using the handshake anyways. So that was a way better outcome. All right, so with that in mind, I need to put up 2 shields. So I'm gonna pick a spot that I know I'm gonna protect this guy, right? He can take 1 more hit. And then I'm just gonna try to protect out here because I know I can't protect everywhere. Okay, that was my action. I guess I'm proud of it. I don't know. Oh, the cadet paid 1 less resource because of that. So I'm going to take back a science. All right, next up. He's drawing a purple. So he goes up. Then he's going to go to here, which is he's going to try to get on a fighter and just do a fake pew pew. And his guy goes on probably a purple fighter if one exists. They don't. In fact, there's no fighters left on the board. So when that is the case, you just set the worker aside. So he doesn't really do anything. That's crazy. But yeah, there's no workers on the board. Okay, back to us. So here's what I want to do. I got 2 cadets now that are fully loaded with bonus actions. I do want to promote my captain 1 more time, which requires 2 science, and I have it. I want to play these homing torpedoes, so that way I can... So the pew pew guy is probably going to go last, so I can get this out there and... or I can do pew pew and then do this later. So I'm going to try to do the empath one because he has a handshake bonus or he has a mining bonus, although I like the handshake bonus more. So let's see if we can get the handshake bonus. We're on a yellow arc ship, so as long as we go somewhere that's not yellow, we're good. And actually, I forgot, I think I wanted to try to go to one of those colonies, which means I have to do a jump. Oh man, that really complicates things. Because if I'm trying to do a jump, then I'm not doing a handshake or anything. I have to go to the Revenant and do an action there. So, let's do that now. It's not going to help me as much, but let's do that now. So, yeah, my cadet is going to go here. And then we're going to do this action, which it just says I could go up, influence any house I want. And then I'm going to pay whatever the neutronium is. And I get to grab the card. And yeah, let me just look it up because the iconography sucks. I definitely understand why people don't like the iconography. This would be a Revenant action. So the cool thing is the other Revenant action, you get to put a protection token out which covers up the bad cards. So when the bad things happen, you can cover up one of the bad effects. That's pretty cool. But we're doing Hypercharge. Gain the scanner benefits shown on the left of the card, if any. In case of a culling card, there is no immediate benefit to gain. Discard the other two, and then shift the phase skip token on the phase track. If it's the fourth cycle, skip. So yeah, basically we do nothing, but I just picked my card. So I'm gonna spend 3 and I'm picking the yellow one. So we're gonna get rid of these 2 cards. So those are out. And so I locked in the colony, and I'm gonna spend my 3 Newtonium. It's a really boring turn. I do get to go up 1 on any track I want. And I do have this ability that as long as I'm at 2 or less, I get a +1. So I'm gonna look to see if there's a bonus I can grab. And there is. If you look there, the orange still has a bonus available. So I'm gonna go 1 up on the orange and then 1 up again to get this material. What's interesting is the orange has 0 power. So maybe I should have gone up 1 on the yellow to help maximize my points. In fact, I am going to do that. Since there's no points to be had here and I don't need that material, I'm just going to choose to go up again on the yellow. All right, and then I believe that's it. Oh no, I got to look at my cards. So this one, nothing happened. I didn't do a handshake. It would have been nice to put out another shield. Over here, I get +1 science for each ship. I only have 1 ship, so I get 1 science, which is better than a kick in the butt. And then I get to do a bonus. And I wanted to put this out, and look at that. I need a lot of resources, which I don't have. So I can't do the homing torpedoes. I would have loved to have done those homing torpedoes. So which action am I going to do? I don't have any corruption, so I don't need to worry about that. I could do this, which gives me a science for every cadet card. So I would get 4 science. Man, that's a lot of science. I can't play a card, which is what I wanted to do. Or I could just take any 1 resource, but I'd rather just do this and get the 4 science. Because every 4 resources is a point. So 1, now I got more science than I know what to do with. All right, it's their turn. They drew a green, so they're gonna go up 1 on the green track. They're going to move the tactics up by 1, and then they're gonna do the dropship. So they go up 1 on the tactics. And then the dropship thing, there are dropships in the game. The green is the highest for them, so it's this one. So they would move over to here and then drop. So this goes away. All right, that's their turn. Now this is our final action of the game. We need to destroy some Voidborn ships. So I'm going to go ahead and get in our frigate. And then when we get in the frigate, we get to, we draw cards. I am currently here, so I get to draw 3 cards and pick which one I want to keep. So I have a red or 2 of these blues. The red and blues are both at 1 power each. So I'm going to go ahead and take a blue and discard. So I am going to pew pew. I am in a rift sector, so I automatically get 2 hits. So I'm going to kill 2 right off the bat for that. Now that he spawned an arc ship here, I can leave 3 of them here because this can take 3 hits and not get destroyed. So I'm going to use 1 more of my hits. I still have 2 more hits left to destroy this one. And then I get to move and unfortunately only destroy 1 more thing. There's way too much to deal with, but now it's just a matter of, I want to be able to control the zones. Yeah, I'm going to lose so much. I'm going to go here and I only get to kill 1 more thing. And I do get 2 energy because I had 2 movement points left. But oh my gosh, this is horrible. Like, I'm nowhere close to keeping up with this game. And then I come back to here, and so we already did this card. And now we're doing this card. I am going to get just 1 science. I'm going to spend 2 to upgrade my captain to max level, which means I'm only spending 1 of my science to do that. And then I get to do bonus stuff. So it would probably be nice to maybe play some cards. Look at, I got all this science, but I don't have cards that need science. I do have this card that, but see, it's a cadet card, so I can't play that one. I can't get rid of corruption. There's absolutely nothing for me to do. I just take more resources. So I'm going to take a neutronium and call it a day. And then we take our workers back. I feel like I'm doing something wrong with this game. And it's causing me to miss out on what the trick is to make this a more successfully fun game. I feel like I'm missing the trick. Like I have like a gross misunderstanding of the rules or something. But anyways, I did destroy some Voidborn ships. I in fact destroyed 4. So 1, 2, 3, I gained another neutronium. Like, it does anything for me? Could that have changed my mind on playing a card? No. Doesn't help me pay anything for a card. So these cards are useless. Go ahead and discard these. It is really hard to play cards and upgrade your captain at the same time. And we're going to get pummeled. So we brought everything back, and now we go through all 8 sectors. I have hardly any shields out there. This is horrible. So 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to bother putting the stuff on, but they're just going to hit that ship. And then over here we get to this next sector, and this is where So these two ships are going to get destroyed. So red and yellow are both going to take a bump. Yellow is going to drop to 2 power. Red drops to 0. So that was 2 of them, and then 3 hits are going to get through. So the Revenant's going to take 1, 2, 3 hits. Everything's in the way. And that's not it. I mean, look, this is going to get destroyed for 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits to the Revenant. I'm not even going to bother. The Revenant's getting hit 6 times. Look, it's getting hit 3 more there. The shield's going to block 1 of these. Then it's going to get hit 3 more there, so that's 6. And then this is going to get saved. And then there's only 1 hit here, so we'll be able to save those ships. And then I won't be able to save this green ship. And then you got 3 more getting into the Revenant. Like, the Revenant's just getting pummeled. So the green is going to drop to 1 power. And so now we're going to resolve both of these Revenant ships. And I got to get out the rule book yet again. Outbreak. So I am going to take a corruption and then lose all resources in the corrupted department. I think that's what it means. And then we lose 2 white cubes, which I don't have any. And it says if you don't have any, you're fine. Okay, so I am going to lose this Newtonium because I'm going to take a corruption, which is negative points at the end of the game. And it's going to go right here. So that does happen to me. So we resolved the Outbreak card, which that one I wasn't worried about. It's the Mutiny card that looks horrible. During final scoring, players will not score prestige for the rank of their captain, nor for the played command cards. However, they can still count these toward their agenda conditions. And then the Revenant Destroyed is this part. Social Collapse. Remove the Revenant from the game board. This does not have any direct gameplay effect. It simply illustrates the demise of the fleet. Discard all colony cards, even if one was already selected by the hypercharge effect. Players will not get the benefit from the colony card. And we spent a whole 1/3 of our actions doing that. So anyways, did I have fun? No, to be quite frank. This is not a fun game. If I played this correctly, this was not fun. I just got overwhelmed, and I don't feel like my actions are numerous enough to feel like I mitigated anything. I mitigated nothing. All I did was just grab my ankles the whole game. And, maybe I could get good and do better. I guess so. I just, I'm very frustrated with this. If I could have controlled 3 characters and then we had a corrupted character, I would have felt better because then we could have, coordinated them and killed some Voidborn with all of the characters. I am openly frustrated with this. This is not, the same feeling I had with Skies Above Britain. And I love Skies Above the Reich. I hated Skies Above Britain. And anyways, I just don't enjoy the solitaire game at all. So let's do final scoring. They earn prestige for They earn prestige for the house influence and power, just like you do. Add the corrupted house cards to their total. Jesus, come on. Okay, I think my dog stopped barking. I'm not sure. So what they're saying is they get 3 points for every step on the tactics track. So they're up to 5. So that's 15 points. And then they score points for here. So this is real easy math. 0, 0, 0. So they get nothing for those. And then 1, 1, 1, 2. So for the yellow player, I'll be right back. Okay, so they have 15 points. And then these are the cards that they drew on their turn. So green. So we have to sort them here. And they got a whole bunch of these blue ones, right? So the red ones don't give them any more points because it's 0. So that's worthless. The yellow gives them 2 for 17. The green, he's at 3, and then this makes it 5. So 17 and 5 is 22. Then we'll do this one next. He's at 3, and this makes it 5. Oh, that's 0. So we're still at 22. Here he's at 1. So that's 23. And then here he's at 8. And then I got to count the cards. Should be 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 cards. So 15. So we said 22, 23, and then 15. That's 33. That's 38 points for him. That's his final score. So for me, I have a 2 here. And this track is just a 1. I'm sorry, it's a 0. So I'm still at 2. And then here I'm at 7. Times 2 is 14. So I'm at 16 points. Now, had that colony succeeded, I would have been, it would have been times 3. So I would have gotten 7 more points, but I didn't. So I'm at 16 points. So now I got to get out the rule book, add my points for everything else. And I already forgot what his score was. We said 38. 38. And they do give you a score pad, by the way. So you don't have to sit here and guess. They do give you this. So anyways, we're at 38 points for him. And I'm currently at 16. Yes. So all right. So he has 38, and I'm currently at 16. And I'm going to open the rule book and figure out the final scoring steps. Make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so we don't score for the colony. I just did the 7 houses. I'm not done with the 7 houses. I have more. I have these. So this is 1 more point. Because I said I was at 16 because I got 2 points. This is 1, 2. I get 3 more points for that. The green is another point, so that's 4. And then these are 2 points each, so that's 8 more points. So I now have 24 points from the house's power. Right? So then, after that, secret agenda. I get 6 points for this. I do not get 6 points for this because one of the arc ships got destroyed. So I get 6 more, so I'm at 30. He has 38 so far. Next up, the cadet cards, frigate cards, and captain rank. 2 point for each of your played cadet cards. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm tied with him at 38. The captain card does not count because the Revenant got destroyed. And then what else do we not get to count? So it shows we don't get to count the captain. And we would have gotten 1 point for each of these, which would have been 3 points. I don't get to count that. So that's out. And I get 2 points for every frigate card. So it puts me to 40. So I've won. And then I get so I would have gotten 6 points for my captain rank, but I don't get to count that. 1 point for each command card, 1 prestige for every 4 resources. So there's 1, 2, 2.5, but it's 2. So that puts me to 42. And then corruption, I lose 2 for each corruption on my fighter board, which is 2. So that brings me back down to 40. 40 is my final score. So I beat him by 2 points. So I did win. Did I enjoy it? No. But, I mean, they balanced it right. I mean, they knew. I mean, this is how you score the AI guy. And he got 38 points, and I barely beat him by 2. And you could say, well, that's a well-balanced game. And it's true. So the game is meant to be brutal like this. And holy crap, is it brutal. I just feel like I should be allowed to do better. But I won. I mean, like, what am I complaining about? I won. So the game is supposed to be brutal, and I just have to embrace the suck and come out ahead. Like, if I would have known that the Revenant's going to get destroyed so badly, which it did, I should have not worried with the colony, right? I could have done better in that regard. So I don't know if I would have been able to save the Revenant, because as a solo player, killing all these Voidborn, my only hope is I have to just jump every turn. So yeah, fine, they do their damage, and then I jump, and I go to a new map where there's just less Voidborn ships on the board. So the chances of them destroying the ships just decreases quite a bit. I haven't ruled the game out. I do think, unlike Skies Above Britain, I actually won. So it's at least a confirmation that even though it felt brutal, it's supposed to be, right? Dungeon Lords is brutal. If you guys ever played Dungeon Lords, we've had games where we played where the winner had negative points. The winner had negative points. So, I mean, I've played brutal games before, and if you set your mind right and you know, hey, I'm going to play a brutal game right now, then it doesn't feel so horrible. But I cannot express enough how horrible I felt playing this game. So it is what it is. I definitely think I want to play this PvP, because I think that getting rid of the corrupt player and having other players, like, I'm moving up the yellow track, right? So fine, the players may want to see my yellow ships get destroyed, but the red ships and the orange ships, like, somebody's going to have their heart set on protecting some color out there. And so they're going to be destroying Voidborn ships just like I am. And if there's 4 players, now there is a difference. Like, when you go to 4 players, it's a new die. I think they use the red die. So I'm rolling 2s, right? And they're 2s. So here's a 3 with 1 on each side. There's a 2 with 1 on each side. So there's even a 5. So they do spawn extra Voidborn, but not nearly as much. Even if this was a 2-player game, I have 2 players helping destroy the Voidborn. I'm a 1 player destroying the Voidborn. My buddy doesn't do crap. He shoots and says, oh, I missed. And I get that. I think, okay, if I had to summarize my gripe, I want the person I'm playing with in solo to be just like a person I'm playing with in PvP. I want him to be a player. I don't want him to be a corrupted person. So if he was a player, he would kill Voidborn ships out there and try to protect his blue ships more. And I just think that that would have been more fun than what is happening here. And also, if I were to make a user variant, and I am contemplating it, and you might see me do this, I might control 2 players, myself, they're on my team, and then I don't care, we could even make 2 of him. I'm okay with that. I am even okay with making, 2 versus 2, right? But I got 2 players out there helping destroy, like we're working together to destroy things. And we got a little bit of extra actions to do stuff. Yeah, he can clog up action spaces. I'm okay with that. And in fact, what we could do is we could just have him be 1 player that just goes twice. We can grab these 3 workers for him and then grab 3 workers from, the red player. And then he's just putting out 6 workers and going around this thing twice as fast. Totally cool with that. And then we are doing the yellow and blue players, so we're going out there twice as much. Or I just grab the blue player pieces and I just put it on here, and my frigate and my, I just have 2 captains and 2 sets of cadets. So I get to use these cards more than once in a round. Holy crap, that would be so much more fun of a game. So he gets to put out twice as much, and then I get to take twice as many actions. I mean, it's brilliant. Like, that is so much more fun of a game than what I just played. Anyways, that's what I got for you. Thanks for coming. I don't hate the game. I just may not like it solo. Voidfall. I would just rather play Voidfall if I'm going to play solo. But I love the universe. And I do want to play this PvP. I think that is where the fun is. And I've said it since the beginning. So maybe I biased myself right away and I stayed biased through it. But to be quite honest, I think that the data confirmed it. The only thing that makes me feel differently is I won. I somehow won, even though I feel miserable. And, yeah. All right. That's enough for me. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.